I'm 32 years old, and I made a mistake. A mistake so reckless, so careless, that it unraveled everything I thought was solid in my life. One moment I was laughing, surrounded by friends, basking in the comfort of familiarity and love. And the next, I was sitting in a quiet house, numb, watching the screen of my phone light up with everything but the one message I needed. I never believed Ryan would actually leave me. I figured he might get upset, maybe even give me the cold shoulder for a day or two. But leave? Walk out? That was never supposed to happen. That wasn't how our story ended. But he did. He left. And now all I'm left with is silence and regret. It all spiraled from a single careless moment. A throwaway comment meant to entertain, to charm, to show off. I was with friends at dinner, sipping wine, caught up in a flow of laughter and teasing when someone tossed out a hypothetical. If you had to choose between your husband and someone else, who would it be? I didn't think. I just smiled, played up with the crowd, and said something I thought was cheeky, funny, harmless. Please, if I had to pick, I'd take my coworker over Ryan any day. People laughed. I laughed. I winked. It felt like nothing, like banter, but it wasn't nothing. Ryan didn't laugh. He didn't even smile. He just sat there, staring at me with this unreadable expression that should have told me everything. But I brushed it off, rolled my eyes, kissed him on the cheek, and told him to lighten up. When we got home, it hit. He looked at me and said quietly, "Do you really feel that way?" I froze. "What are you talking about?" "What you said at dinner. Was it a joke, or do you actually think you'd be better off with someone else?" I could have said I was sorry. I could have explained myself. But instead, I got defensive. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was fear. I crossed my arms, scoffed, told him he was overreacting. He laughed then, but not in a funny way. A hollow, sharp sound. "You know, I've spent years trying to be what you needed. And now, the one time I see you light up, it's over someone else." "Oh, come on," I said. "Don't be dramatic." But he wasn't dramatic. He was done. His voice didn't rise. His hands didn't shake. He just stood there, completely calm, and said, "If you really think there's someone better, then what are we doing here?" I felt the shift. The ground moved beneath us. This wasn't just a fight. This wasn't storm we'd ride out. This was him slipping away. "Ryan, wait," I said, but he was already walking upstairs. When I followed, I found him packing. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed like I still had control. "You're leaving over this?" Without even looking at me, he said, "It's not just this. It's everything." Panic hit me like a wave. I begged him to stop, to talk, to understand that I didn't mean it. But he didn't even blink. He finished packing, grabbed his keys, and walked out. I thought he'd come back, that he just needed time. But days passed. Silence. Then came the email, a real estate agent, a follow-up about an apartment inquiry. He wasn't cooling off. He was moving on. I called straight to voicemail. I texted nothing. Finally, I sent a voice note, my voice trembling. I told him I didn't mean it, that he was the only one I wanted, that I was sorry. His reply came in one line. "Thanks for confirming what I suspected for a while. You just use people for what they can give you." I guess I was no different. That's when it really hit me, because he wasn't wrong. I called again. This time he answered, but his voice was cold, distant. "What do you want, Caroline?" I stumbled through my apology, tried to fix something that was already broken beyond repair. "I need time to think," he said. "Don't call me again until I reach out." And that was the last time I heard his voice. Now I sit alone, staring at the screen, checking my phone every few minutes, knowing deep down that the message I'm waiting for won't come. I thought I had the upper hand. I thought I could say anything, do anything, and he'd always stay. But he didn't. And the worst part? The co-worker I joked about, he was never interested. That moment of fake power, of attention, it meant nothing. Now I have nothing, and no one to blame but myself.